Thank you.
Don't
Gregg?
underestimate the power of the pulpit, because some ministers endorsing candidates today, in a way. Also of note is the Des Moines Register poll. Now, if you look at the final 2 days of the 4-day survey, the numbers actually show that Rick Santorum is building momentum big time, actually elbowing past Ron Paul for second place. What does it mean for Santorum's chances of winning in Iowa? Doug Heye is a senior advisor to the Iowa Republican Party. He joins us live. Doug, always good to see you. Look, there are several headlines here, but the one that may be the most important is this one. I want to focus on this first. 41% of Iowans who are going to be caucus goers say, you know what, I might switch. I'm undecided. What does that mean? Does it mean that, look, this is anybody's guess?
Well, it means two things. It means, one, the race is wide open, but it also means that the last-minute organizing and organization is really what's key in Iowa, as we've seen in past elections, is what matters right now the most for candidates. And what I mean by that is we have 1,774 precincts throughout the states. Those candidates, those campaigns that have representatives at each one of those, or as many of those as possible, that make those closing arguments in not only the closing days, but the closing minutes of the Iowa caucus, are the ones that are going to best serve their candidacy and move forward from Iowa to other states.
You know what? Rick Santorum took up residency essentially in Iowa, moving his family there a lot of the time. I think he has his own zip code. I mean, look, he is vaulting to second place now. If you look only at, as we mentioned, the last 2 days in the polling data, how do you handicap his chances?
Well, I think his chances are really good. We'll see how those trend lines continue. We won't really know until after the caucus is said and done. But in Iowa, there's an expression: organize, 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 get hot at the end. We've certainly seen that with Rick Santorum. We've also seen that to a great extent with Mitt Romney. I think his organization in the state has really been underrepresented, and it really speaks to the difference of the uniqueness of the Iowa caucus. In primaries, as we'll see in New Hampshire, voters vote and make their voices heard. In a caucus, voters show up and make their presence felt. That's a key difference. It takes commitment from those voters and organization at that last minute, at that last moment, speaking up for candidates at 1,774 precincts throughout the state.
Is it no coincidence that the top three have the best ground games in Iowa?
No, I don't think so. And I think if you look historically, those campaigns that have been the best organized have won in the past. George W. Bush won in 2000. Barack Obama won in 2008. We like to say here in Iowa that the state that launched Barack Obama to the White House, Iowa, is the state that's going to remove him. And where we really see that is organization in the state parties. We've had under Republican Chairman Matt Strawn 33 straight months of Republican gains against the Iowa Democratic Party. Iowa Democrats have lost 1 in 10 voters. They're hemorrhaging voters at a time when they should be growing. And that's why Iowa is going to really tell the story for Obama in November, because this is a battleground state that he barely won last time. Losing voters isn't a recipe for success.
Is Santorum's surge Romney's gain, because essentially he knocks off Newt Gingrich?
Well, there's a lot of political calculus that can be made. I'll leave it to others to do that. But it's clear that Rick Santorum has really strengthened his campaign in the last days, and depending on how he comes out of this, if he moves on, which it certainly looks like he will, he'll be in a better position to campaign in New Hampshire, South Carolina, and other states, Florida perhaps, as the campaign goes on. But that's why Iowa is really the epicenter of politics right now. So exciting to be here, and hope everybody will tune in to watch the results on Fox News Tuesday night.
Hey, quick one, Doug. Gingrich was way ahead. I mean, he had a huge lead a month ago. It is now evaporated. Why?
Well, I think we've seen that with a lot of candidates. Certainly Herman Cain was the flavor of the month, as some people said. There was a lot of discussion as to whether Sarah Palin would run, Haley Barbour, Mitch Daniels, Chris Christie. This race has been very fluid, and that's, as we're seeing it tighten up at the very last minute, very last days of the campaign, it's still fluid and it's anyone's game.
Right. Doug Heye, good to see you. You're going to be there. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And remember, Fox News is your home base for the first in the nation Iowa caucuses. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Iowa, an American Election Headquarters special.